Tom Curran is a Patriots insider, but there have been links of the Patriots quarterback, Tom Brady, maybe going to San Francisco. And, of course, a former Patriots quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo, is in San Francisco. From Tom Curran, as much as the Niners head coach Kyle Shanahan likes Garoppolo, I've been told by multiple sources that he's got some reservations about Garoppolo's ceiling and overall decision-making. Okay. So he likes, maybe not loves, Garoppolo. Let's just start with this. That means, by some people's estimation, they'd be open to trading Garoppolo or releasing Garoppolo and acquiring Tom Brady. What's Tom Brady's ceiling at 43 years old? And would he have some wouldn't you have reservations? The problem with this report, and I do believe that it's accurate, that the Niners, Kyle Shanahan likes Garoppolo, but multiple sources say that he's got some reservations about Garoppolo's ceiling and overall decision-making is, couldn't you find flaws with Tom Brady? Hey, I love Tom Brady. He's the greatest quarterback ever, but he's 43. He's likely to get hurt. He has to run his own offense. Everything is dink and dunk. He's not as athletic as Garoppolo, and we run the type of zone blocking scheme where the quarterback really has to get out to hand off the ball and run the boot action afterwards. Oh, and he's never actually played anywhere outside of New England, and he's been doing this for about 20 years. Like, you can find flaws with anyone. What are the strengths? And Garoppolo, under contract, led you to a Super Bowl, has shown some signs he should get better in terms of his. Now, if you can't get over, right, if it's a non-starter, the fact that he had Emmanuel Sanders open, and it wasn't that he missed, it's that he missed by a country mile, and you're like, he just doesn't have it. He had the big moment in the big game, and he didn't miss by a little, he missed by a lot. And if that's what you can't get over, well, okay, that makes sense. But if it's this little stuff about things in the ceiling, that's not the reason to end a relationship. This is Brees on WEEI, again, a Boston radio station, but I think he was pitching something else. He was on EEI discussing his future in the NFL.
I'm not just saying this, but honestly, I'm 1 year at a time. I'm 1 year at a time. Now, listen, if you ask me how long do I think I could do this, I think I could do this to age 45 or beyond.
You do?
I'm 41 right now. There's other factors. It's not just a matter of can you do it. It's what are you sacrificing in order to be able to play this game and give it the time and dedication that it deserves.
What are you willing to sacrifice to give it the time and dedication it deserves? So he's saying, look, this is my choice. It's about the family. It's about being away from home. It's about the potential of getting hit on the head. It's about you can't just doing the job. You got to do the job right. Which, by the way, is one of the reasons I don't believe Brady is going to leave New England, because New England is the only place he could skip OTAs and still be fine day one. Whereas he would feel completely out of sorts if he skipped OTAs and he was in a new home, right? Wait, they're installing an offense that only I know and I'm not there? That sounds problematic, especially for quarterbacks that are generally control freaks. But Brees is making it out like it's his decision. His decision. Will he play to 45? Probably not, but he at least thinks he can. Now, I'm sure some of this is a competitiveness with his numbers, his stats versus Tom Brady. Right? He sets all these passer numbers, whatever. And, you know, when you hold records, you can sit there and go, they don't mean that much to me. Records are meant to be broken. They're not meant to be broken the very next year. When people say records are meant to be broken, they want somebody to endure the type of hardship they went through and have to do it for as long as they went through in a different era, generation. You don't want one of their contemporaries to break their record the very next year. Peyton passed Favre, but then Drew Brees passed Peyton. And remember, Drew Brees plays for Peyton's hometown team. There is that kind of unique tie. Peyton had to go out kicking and screaming, and he only went out because he was so bad and they won the Super Bowl. But do you think he wanted to relinquish any of these records? Of course not. Why would you? It's somehow seen as a bad thing when you don't want to give up a record. Brees isn't considered one of the 5 greatest quarterbacks of all time, even though all the statistics would tell you that, and he's won a Super Bowl and played in 2. And frankly, lost the last 3 years on crazy, crazy circumstances. So I look at this thing, and it's amazing to me how Brees believes it's his call. And this is a little bit like if you have aging parents, do you commit to like allowing them to make the decision about where they live, living on their own for a long time. But there could come a time where you go, hey, this isn't your decision anymore. You know? Drew Brees, he's not there. He's still able at this point to make his own decision. Brees in December 2016 through 2018, 71% completion percentage, 275 yards a game, 7.6 yards per attempt, 14 TDs, and 11 interceptions. The numbers are far worse when you compare them to September and October. Same time period. Now, this year, because he had to miss so much time to be more rested, 75% completion percentage, nearly 300 yards a game, 15 touchdowns, no interceptions. So that would lead you to believe that, okay, those were just anomaly years the previous 2 years. Those weren't anomaly years. Those were years in which he was playing close to 16 games, and he would wear down. And it stands to reason you're going to wear down earlier. He missed 5 games due to a thumb injury. Okay, you come back to play, or you come back to play to start 12 games, you come back to play to start 16 games. You decide. It's time for somebody to pull Brees aside and go, hey, dude, we love you. We'll have a statue of you outside the stadium one day. You're a Hall of Famer. You won a Super Bowl. You've taken the Aints to being the Saints, a proud franchise that's more surprised when we lose in the playoffs than surprised that we make the playoffs like it used to be. But we can also be honest that his body, his arm, couldn't previously stand up to the rigors of a 16-game season, which could become 17 games, and the likelihood, plus the playoffs, and the likelihood of it standing up for next year is not good. It's time to start realizing that we're starting to get to the point of diminishing return. And whether or not it is his last year in his mind, it should be the last year. Peyton Manning gave all these guys false hope, like, hey, you can win a Super Bowl even if you still don't have it. But what's more realistic is you don't have it and your team suffers because of it, and it actually hurts your reputation. That's what happened with Brett Favre and Minnesota. That's what happened with Brett Favre. That's what happened. Do you remember Dan Marino's last game? Anybody? I don't think you're old enough. Are you, Ryan, to know Dan Marino's last game?
No, I am not old enough.
Dan Marino's last game was actually in the playoffs against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay? His last game, this is what happened. It was an epic and complete disaster. And I believe they had won his first road playoff win ever the week before. They played the Jaguars. They got beat 62-7. 44% completion. Okay. Passed for 95 yards. 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, and a fumble. They got thoroughly and completely embarrassed. That's more the norm than Peyton Manning being able to win even though he couldn't throw a football anymore. It's just like boxers, right? Like the last time we saw Floyd Mayweather in the ring, he beat Conor McGregor, and he maintained all his belts. And I don't even think we're up to lose in that fight. And he won $100 million. That's probably not the way his last fight will go, even if we're considering that his last fight. Drew Brees can say all he wants about, hey, I can play till you could play till you're 45, but the Saints need to know better and go like, hey, listen, we know you've run stop signs before. We've seen your parking. We've seen the dings in your car. End of this year, we're taking away the keys. Hey, what up? Doug Gottlieb here. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel here at Fox Sports Radio. You can catch my show, all the shows on Fox Sports Radio, unique interviews, strong takes, just interesting discussion on the sports topic of the day, of the week, of the month. It's all encompassing. It's everything you need right here on YouTube. Subscribe.